And we should inform you a water main break is disrupting traffic flow in the East End. City crews are working to fix the ruptured pipe that has closed Russell Road between Hague Drive and Smythe Road. Detours are in place, but there's no word yet on when the road will reopen. Escapade Music Festival went off without a hitch, but instead of counting the cash, organizers are now looking for it. Reporter Melissa Lamb has the latest on the missing money. Melissa.
Well, Annette, organizers say despite the missing cash, they're still hopeful for another festival next year. The two-day music festival over the Canada Day weekend was a huge success with more than 15,000 people taking part. DNA Presents is the group who put on the event. They say $600,000 is missing from their safe. Also missing is a partner in their group, Nick Vachon, who they say they have not seen or heard from since Monday. Now, the group says they will meet with their lawyers and accountants today to discuss their financial situation and see if a festival is possible for next year. Annette?
All right, Melissa Lamb on that story for us today. Thanks for that. A dry winter and spring is prompting pleas for residents along the Rideau River to conserve water. The Rideau Valley Conservation Authority says flows in all streams and the Rideau River are well below normal for this time of year. Everyone is asked to reduce water consumption by 10% and use water wisely. The Conservation Authority says that the low water levels are no threat, though, to the Rideau Canal boating system. An elderly man is facing a charge of careless driving for a crash that killed a Smith Falls teen. Ontario Provincial Police say a school van crossed into the opposite lane of Cantry Road 18 and struck an oncoming van more than 2 weeks ago. 18-year-old Cameron Borgard was thrown from the school van and died in hospital 3 days later. 81-year-old Robert Gowan has been charged. French investigators will release a final report today into the 2009 crash of an Air France Airbus into the Atlantic. Canadian Brad Clemis was among the 228 people killed when the Rio de Janeiro to Paris flight went down. A preliminary report released a year ago described only a confused crew getting incoherent speed readings from faulty sensors. The nuclear disaster following last year's earthquake and tsunami in Japan was reportedly man-made. That's the conclusion of a Japanese parliamentary panel looking into the crisis at the Fukushima nuclear plant. The report says that the disaster should have been foreseen and prevented, and its effects mitigated by a more effective response. Nuclear meltdowns, explosions, and massive radiation leaks were triggered by the natural disaster. Closer to home, a road trip celebrating the 50th anniversary of the completion of the Trans-Canada Highway has rolled into Ottawa. Mark Richardson arrived in the capital yesterday as part of a drive from St. John's, Newfoundland to Victoria, BC. The avid car enthusiast is retracing the anniversary of the completion of the Trans-Canada Highway and the 100th anniversary of the first road trip across Canada.